In 1969, an unassuming legend was born in the Honda CB750. Beautiful, reliable, with easy-to-source parts, it's no wonder it became synonymous with the cafe racer scene. But 55 years later, the Honda CB750 is steadily becoming a piece of history, and chopping one up in great condition to become a cafe racer instead of restoring it to factory is getting more frowns than ever. Seems like the sun is really setting on the UJM cafe racer builds, unless...
Now, if you're from Japan, Southeast Asia, or Australia, you'll probably be familiar with this CB400 Super Four. This bike is somewhat of a legend in Singapore because most of us who are able to ride these on public roads probably learned on them. They were the staple riding school motorcycle for I don't even know how long, man. But the CB400 Super Four was released in 1992, and in 2022 they finally stopped production of it. A good 30 years, man. And throughout the Super Four's production run, there has been many variations of it. It started with a straight 4-carbureted engine, and then moving on to adding one of the things that made the Super Four so infamous. VTEC, baby! It even shows on the RPM. At 6,250 RPM, the marker increases. That's where VTEC opens up, and we get a super obvious increase in sound. In terms of power, I don't really know. Probably a little bit, but also because, you know, that's where the power band is for this particular bike, and VTEC was introduced as more of a fuel economy kind of deal. It's not that, oh, you're getting more power when VTEC comes on. It's more like you're saving fuel when VTEC is not on. Then somewhere down the line, we got a CB400 Revo, which changed the carburetor for fuel injection system. Thoughts on that are pretty divided, as you can imagine. Oh, I gotta do the CB400 thing. It is a rule when you have a Super Four that every time you're in an area like this, never gets old. For the longest time, the de facto motorcycle for people to chop up into a custom cafe racer of their dreams has been the old CB750. But that bike is becoming more and more of a cult classic, and people are wanting to preserve it in its genuine original status. It's getting more and more painful for people to chop up a perfectly good CB750 that's running, that's in perfect factory condition, looks beautiful, and if you can even find it to chop it up, it's just you know? And that's why I think this CB400 Super Four comes into play. Because not just any motorcycle can replace the CB750 when it comes to the custom platform. And I feel like this is probably the strongest contender we have so far to date. Just like the 750, the Super Four is built on the UJM platform, and it's insanely customizable. You have Honda's reliable 4-cylinder engine, although one is a 750cc, one is a 400. The power differences, I think the main thing you would feel would be torque. You're looking at about 10 horsepower difference and about 15 to 20 Newton meters of torque. But with the Super Four, we get to have a choice of VTEC versus non-VTEC, carbureted versus fuel injected. And I'm pretty sure you can choose between ABS and non-ABS models as well, because 30 years is a huge spread. And because of how insanely popular the CB400 Super Four is, you have tons and tons and tons of groups online and forums on Reddit talking about the CB400, talking about the different problems that they will face, talking about the different ways that they solve it, just like how the CB750 had their online platform supporting all of the aftermarket mods and things that people want to do to the machine. On my first ever trip to KL with the boys, I rode my old CB400 from 2010, made it up all the way to Kuala Lumpur, no problem. And then when we were about to leave, you guys know the Shell station right outside the KL toll booth? That's where it broke down. The coolant pump just crapped out on me, bike overheated, wouldn't start. This bike definitely has a cult following, and surprisingly, not as a cafe racer, which I don't understand. Honestly, I have no complaints about this bike because I feel like everything about it was so well designed and so well thought about that this feels like it's the perfect platform. The seat is nice and comfortable, it's wide and holds your ass, but tapers down nicely, not too much, not too sporty, not too aggressive. Tapers down nicely into the tank for you to grip. And the tank cutouts are just so comfortable. And you can never go wrong with Honda's reliability. Honestly, this bike in particular, dude, the speedometer isn't even working anymore. I'm pretty sure the speed sensor or something is wrong because the odometer is not working as well. But this meter died at 300,000 kilometers and some change. And the bike is still going strong. It's starting on first push, dude. Like, what? What can I say? It's a Honda. It's super well balanced. The power is pretty much linear. Really usable in the city. And you can just cruise along at 6th gear at lower speeds. That's kind of insane. One of the things that will affect your decision a lot when you're looking for a daily driver, right? It's probably fuel consumption and maintenance. The CB400 isn't the best when it comes to that. When I own my CB400, on trigger happy days, I'm getting 16, 15 kilometers per liter. And on, chiller days where VTEC is never open, I probably get 22. Maintenance was also pretty hefty because of the amount of engine oil that it requires, the valve clearance, the VTEC solenoid keeping it, running. One of the main gripes that everyone I know probably saying about the Super Four is that you get a 400cc machine with the maintenance and fuel consumption of 1,000. When I switched from the CB400 to my XSR 900, in terms of maintenance and fuel costs, it stayed exactly the same. There are some people who absolutely love their Super Fours and keep it in immaculate condition. Those are not the bikes I think you should be chopping up. I think a good majority of the machines out there are in conditions such as this. Something's not exactly right, not everything is perfect. It's still running, engine's going, might not be running in the best condition, but it still works. Those are the Super Fours that I think have been neglected their whole life and just been beat as a workhorse. And I think those deserve a second chance at life, at being something beautiful and being something well loved,
Two-wheel freedom isn't just the journey we take, it's the friendships we forge along the way. Together, every turn of the throttle tightens the bonds between us. We ride not as individuals, but as a family. Two-wheel freedom isn't just about the destination. It's about the memories we make.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today.
Experience two-wheel freedom with DirectAsia. Use promo code VERYOK30 at checkout for a $30 eCapitaVoucher or VERYOK60 for $60 eCapitaVoucher. Head on down to directasia.com/333 for more information. Thank you to DirectAsia for making this video possible. This coffee is so good. It used to be a treat for us when 333's office was still here, and we would celebrate work well done by having one of these. It's a beautiful space right in the middle of an industrial area. They roast their own coffee beans, they have their own merch, and I really, really like their sandwiches. It's not cheap. It's not better of a deal when you come for the weekday lunch set menu. The ciabatta is only lightly crisp on the outside, right? But on the inside it's soft and fluffy. I don't know if there's anything special about ham. It's ham to me. The mayo is the main thing that I really like about this whole combination, ties everything well together. I don't know how difficult it is for builders in Europe and America to import these motorcycles into their countries. We know that quite a good majority of our viewers are from the United States, so let us know in the comments on what that process is like, because this is a great bike. And the only reason why I don't own one is because we can't really customize them in Singapore. And to think for Singapore, most of these bikes, when their COE expires, they end up being scrapped if they're not good enough to be exported. It's just painful, dude. So please, if you guys are living in a place where you can customize your bikes and make a heck of a custom cafe racer, save our Super Fours.
bring them out, give them a new life. So this is going to be the very last Coffee Rider episode for this year, and we are so appreciative of all you guys tuning in to watch and loving the episodes and leaving your comments. All of you guys, all of your support, you have no idea how much it meant. All of the support that you guys have shown us has... Thanks guys. Here's to more crazy adventures next year. I'm Jake, and we'll see you on the road.